Mandisa Mazibuko. I am the Managing Director of Envelop Empowerment Group, as well as Gilnokie Socks. My company, Envelop Empowerment Group, is actually a company that is built on principles to develop, to support and empower, particularly women entrepreneurs. We do that by equipping them with practical skills, practical tools that will actually allow them to succeed in the business. As a distributor of high quality PPE, our main focus is actually women businesses, women-led businesses. And we believe that because SMMEs are actually the lifeline of the economy, we believe that because women particularly have an internal desire to nurture, when you equip a woman with the right skills to lead, to nurture, they are able to give back. They are able to build communities. So really, SMMEs, we believe that as a core customer, this is the only way that will actually improve our economy. On the other end, I am also a director of Gilnokie. Gilnokie too was really founded on the principles of empowering. So we partnered with a well-established entrepreneur who also had a desire to grow. And then our partnership was actually based on the premise of opening up access to funding, access to markets, and strategic positioning. And really these two companies, which I refer to as my babies, have really shaped and are a true demonstration of what healthy transformation looks like, and what possibilities there are when a vision meets the correct support. So we are all about amplifying, growing, and really unifying. My journey started off when I was quite young. I actually grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. I learned a lot from my grandfather. I was actually raised by my grandparents, shaped by a man who was very resilient, very smart, although with no education. But he had always had a clear picture of what it looked like to lead and be a reliable source, So my journey actually began when I could see how he was interacting with people, leading people, really starting from ideas, just mere concepts, and growing something spectacular. And so when I finished my matric, I studied finance. I then proceeded to do an honors in finance. And fast forward to now, just recently, I've just completed my MBA with a sole focus on manufacturing, because that's really where my heart is. I actually studied at TWIMS, and what an incredible 2 years. What an incredible 2 years, one that was really filled with a wealth of knowledge, innovation, and it's really enabled me to pick up on concepts and ideas that I could actually implement in my businesses. And I can say that for sure because since the completion of it, in fact, even during the completion of my studies, I've seen how applying some of those concepts and frameworks and models have actually improved my decision-making skill, the rate and the rate at which I make decisions. And so I've also just learned through that training to really trust the inner voice, At times you don't have the answers to everything, but you do need to make a decision, and it's really equipped me with those skills. My biggest dream has actually, I would say I'm living it. My dream has been to lead a business that empowers, that actually also creates space for others to drive success, to drive commitment. My dream is to really create leadership networks. I want to create mentorship programs that were not open to women previously. I want to create a healthy relationship, collaborations between companies, so that we realize the power of collaborating and partnering. We often don't need to do everything ourselves. We just need to be able to identify the right people that can help us to get to a certain point. So really my dream lingers around empowerment, it lingers around collaboration, and just really making certain resources available that will allow other people to enter into a field that would allow them to actually succeed and grow. The impact that I make on my business, and I see it daily, is how we are able to build confidence with empowering a first-time entrepreneur to a point where we can, make a tangible and realizable commitment with an already existing business. So I've had the privilege of seeing entrepreneurs who knew absolutely nothing about the journey of being an entrepreneur. We've been able to assist them to get the right access to funding, the right access to markets, and they've been able to be sustainable. On the other hand, we've also managed to build relationships with existing businesses that have allowed us to enter into different different scope of works, different innovations. So the impact has really been profound and fundamental, and it continues being that because we are constantly opening ourselves up to actually learning and absorbing. The impact does not stay the same. The more you open yourself up and the more you want to learn, it's the more doors that open. And so the impact has been really, really positive and really encouraging. So the achievements that we are currently, and I wouldn't want to talk about them before they actually materialize, but we are partnering with a school down in Pinetown. We want to assist learners from very early ages. And we want to open up opportunities for these learners to just give them a chance, giving them the necessary, the very basics that would allow them to stand a chance when they leave school. And that journey has really been a humbling one, because you realize that there is so much needed, but so much that you can also draw support on from others to help you reach certain goals. So the impact that I think we will achieve is really going to be a community base, because we are at a point where we are drawing some resources from different businesses, from different partners, to see how we can actually help learners from the young ages and really take them through their schooling up until tertiary education. So these are initiatives that we are currently bidding, and we really hope these will make positive impact. And it's still on giving back to the community. And this is a very little way in which we feel we can do that. And because of my love personally for education, you realize education really does shape a person's future. Yes, of course, I was raised by an uneducated man who was able to achieve a lot. But education allows you to think things differently. It allows you to have a different perspective, to see things differently. And if we could just change that with one child and really open up those doors, we are building somewhat of a catalyst, and that one child will be responsible for another and another. And this is how we actually, make more meaningful contributions. Challenges that I've experienced along the way, I like to really separate them from internal and external. Internal, I think the challenge has always been about not really believing in myself, a lot of self-doubt, seeking outside validation. And those are barriers that I continually have to overcome, because it's something that's almost ingrained, by culture, by society. So I still look at those as things that are limiting, which I'm quite well aware of and I'm constantly working on. Externally, I would say it's definitely being in what is still perceived very much as a male-dominated sector, which is manufacturing. So it almost feels like women have to speak more louder, be more convincing, a lot of expectations, not much support. So those systemic barriers are a reality. We continue seeing them as women on a day-to-day basis. But we also realize that this is a culture change. It's not something that's going to change overnight. But these are definitely some of the challenges that would, if left unchecked, would left to discourage one in order to make progress in this field. The advice I would give to a younger person is really threefold. I think one of the things is to be exceptionally clear on what it is that you want. Be clear on your purpose, be clear on the expectations. Because I found that not having that clarity breeds confusion, self-doubt, anxiety. And once you've determined what that clear goal is, I would say having resilience, because things don't always go your way. Even when you do fall, you want to bounce back, bounce forward, and keep going. And thirdly, an advice I would give is to be adaptable, be agile, be able to reimagine things, to pivot, and really concentrate on what that end goal is.
Sorry, can we do the last bit of that?
Sorry.
Your watch sound had come through the...
Sorry.
So it's just before you mentioned pivoting.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Okay,
Sorry
the
about
third
that.
one. And the third one would really to be adaptable and be agile. So because things do not always go the way in which you had planned for them, it's very important to be able to reinvent, pivot and reimagine, so that they always suit your current context and your current circumstances. It's really no use holding on to ideas that you had previously and try to solve the problems of today. Sometimes circumstances force one to change direction, and that's okay. So those are basically the three advices that I would give to a young person. How I try to find balance is actually taking up all of these roles gracefully. It's still a work in progress. I am a mother, I'm a wife, I am a businesswoman. It's really about being present. I try to be present with my kids, try to be present with my husband. I try to be a present leader. I give as much as I can when I can. But it's also just being able to allow yourself to be the person that you need to be in order to perform at your peak. These roles are all fulfilling. They are all challenging, but they actually make life worthwhile. So it's a continuous activity. It's one that I'm working on every single day. I don't get it right all the time, but I am working towards ensuring that priorities remain priorities, and I'm very clear on what those things are. I would like to perhaps just really encourage ladies, women out there to really take up space, to believe in yourself, be in a position where you are able to make bold decisions. Risk-taking has always been a characteristic that is associated with men. But we see women taking risks every day. We need to embrace those, because right at that peak lies a better business, a better family, a better you. So let's not be intimidated of taking risks. Let's not be intimidated of change. Let's embrace it and let's see it to the end.